People, Deluded, I'm back again. It's always a pleasure. Now, tomorrow, the games are coming thick and fast since the restart, as you know. It's fantastic beating Wolves 2-0. But tomorrow, it's Arsenal versus Leicester. I believe 8:15 kickoff. And, you know, the games are coming thick and fast, you know. We didn't start off in terms of Project Restart. We got off to a terrible start. You know, we had red cards and injuries against City. Didn't get much joy after Brighton, but since then, you know, we've done our thing against Southampton, we've done our thing against Norwich, we've won in all comps against Sheffield, and obviously on Saturday, 48 hours ago, I believe, yeah, my maths is poor, but yeah, obviously we beat Wolves 2-0, clean sheet, 3 points. You know, Wolves at a time prior to the game were 2 points off top four. Pardon me, and I think if I was a Wolves fan or, you know, a Wolves manager, I wouldn't be too happy with how we played, considering what's at stake and obviously the rivals around you and stuff. Now, Arsenal, for me, we're not getting top four. It's not even for me. I'm sure some of you, if you believe Arsenal can get top four, I don't think that's bad, innit? Mathematically, it can still be done. It's just for me personally, I think, you know, we've done the damage. We've done too much. Mathematically, it's possible, but we've done too much damage throughout the whole season. There's just been too much damage, and we're relying on too other many people. Now, if we win, we draw, I believe it takes us to 52 points. We'll be in touching distance. But for me, we need United to drop too many points, Leicester to drop too many points, Chelsea to drop too many points. And obviously, I know City's got the whole transfer ban and, you know, as well as third and fourth being up for grabs because Leicester made it harder work. Fifth could as well, depending on what happens in that. So, you know, the top 5 places are crucial. Let's say 3 places are up for grab. Let's say for me 2 definite, because there's no point talking about if City get it. If they do, it's cool, but if they don't get it, what happens? You know, third and fourth. Arsenal need too much to do, but for me, the players should believe they can get top 4. The manager, Arteta's not idiot. I guarantee you, what I've just said, he knows that and knows more than that. But as a manager, you've got to believe that you can do it. And for me, if we can't do it, I say if because I've got a bit of hope. If we can't do it, you know, at least let's try and put a little platform for next season. Let's try and get a little feel-good factor going. Let's try and get a little FA Cup. Let's try, you know, finish at the Spurs. Let's try and get as many points as we can just for some confidence for us and to what we can do next year. Now, for me, obviously, if we going into this Leicester game, if we were still carrying on that form where, you know, we bottled it and failed to hold a lead against Brighton, we were just atrocious against City, to put it blank, you know, we'd be dreading the worst. And I still am dreading the worst. So I'm happy with this, with the run of the last games, you know, particularly Sheffield, Southampton and Wolves. We've gone away from home. We've played well in the, not that the home form matters so much because fans are not there. We've played well and there's a feel-good factor. I don't want it to be urged complacency or a false level of confidence to a level we're not, but you know, it's better than seeing players. It's never healthy not seeing players. When you know you can see players, they just feel they look too pressurized, they don't look comfortable, and it's not happy. Now, Leicester, nobody wants to play Leicester. Statistically, I think they're one of the best defensive sides in the Prem. Obviously, by their own standards, they've probably dropped off a bit in last recent couple of games, you know. But they've bounced back, man. You watched the 3-0 against Palace. Obviously, Palace, for me, had them up for about 40 minutes. I think stayed in the game. And you've shown what you could do. When I think of Leicester, I think Brendan Rodgers, fantastic coach. You know, he's done things at Celtic. He's been a Liverpool manager. He's done good things at the youth team in Chelsea. They've got numerous players, you know. Before even talking about the individual players, I think of them as tenacious and aggressive. They're aggressive with how they play. They're not flying into tackles, but they're aggressive. They press high. They want to get the ball forward, you know. Chilwell needs no license to go forward. James Justin as well, but I don't know if Pereira's injured, but Pereira more so when he's there. Obviously, Soyuncu and Evans, they're ball-playing centre-halves. They don't mind having the ball and things like that. You've obviously got their attackers. Perez has shown he can chip in. Vardy, 33 years of age, and is now a Centurion in the Premier League. And like you saw against Palace, if you look over your shoulder and you cannot see Jamie Vardy, you are in trouble. They've got James Maddison, depending on fitness, and they've obviously got Telemans. They've got very cultured players on the ball. They love to cross the ball. They love to cross the ball early. I think within 42 minutes of, what was it, the game against Everton, they put in 11 crosses from open play. This is a team. So for me as well, I'm not going to talk about in the tactics thing, but when the balls are crossed, not only do we need to head convincingly, and I'm looking at Mustafi and Luis specifically, because if they play, I think you did well in the air against Wolves. I want to see that again. Not only that, watch the runners off the ball, especially Vardy, because again, Vardy is one of these strikers. He's not going to stay stationary. He's not going to be Jimenez works the channels, and Vardy does stay in the middle, but he's not going to stay in the middle for 90 minutes. You know, he might just stay there for a bit. You think you're having him up. Next thing you know, it's 85th minute. He's in the left-hand channel. Our right back is nowhere to be played. Centre halves are split. you know you're in trouble. I don't want to say Leicester score late goals, but Leicester have a habit of scoring late goals. Why I say I don't want to say that is because after the restart, who's really scoring before half time? I know there's been Liverpool and City game. Yeah, United versus Bournemouth was a crazy game, but typically, we've been seeing slow games. So a bit of that is to do with Leicester, but they score late goals, people. They've got Vardy. It was a bit of a dry patch on to the last 2 games, and he's now hit what? He's hit a brace in his last. He's got 2 goals in 2. I think he scored because of scoring a brace. He could have even scored the week before. I know for a fact here, Kelechi Iheanacho, he has to be patient for first team chances at Leicester. He's taken it. He's been played twice by Rodgers, and he scored 2 goals. So his confidence should be there. He should believe he can do a thing against Arsenal. As much as I love my club, Leicester should relish Arsenal. They should relish playing against us. They should relish this. And I think after the restart, they've been a bit shaky. They dropped points against Watford. They played poorly against Everton. They was even poor in the cup against Chelsea. But that is going to happen. And you lot know form goes out the window when you buck Arsenal. So I want to see the same stuff I saw against Wolves. I want to see it again. Wolves is Jimenez him and Vardy is Jimenez for this week. Do you get it? Obviously I don't really think they have an aggressive dribbler like Adama, but they do their thing on the flanks. Albrighton's an honest man. He'll work hard. Harvey Barnes, Perez will chip in. But Vardy doesn't play out wide, but he will work the channels very well if they go with a 4-4-2. So there's a lot to be afraid of, people, and a lot to focus on. Obviously, Leicester sit in 3rd. We sit in 7th, like I've said, people. All I want to see is clearing our lines convincingly, heading convincingly. Everything that we showed against Wolves, I want to see. But the one thing I do want to see a bit more, we need to find our attackers quicker. We need to, as a team, we need to work on when teams are shutting out us being able to pass. You look at the first half an hour against Wolves, our centre-halves had plenty of the ball, Xhaka and Ceballos as well, and they were good on it. But, but our front 3 in Saka, Eddie and Aubameyang, they were out of the game because they're outnumbered. We can't get it to them. We need to do that a bit more. Because, listen, you need to be brave against Leicester. You need to be brave against Leicester. Sort of thing, people. We need it's simple put. We just need to win the game, people, because just by looking at Leicester, if they go with a 4-4-2, it's admirable because it's not exactly a 4-4-2, people. Kelechi might stay there. Vardy naturally is going to work either channel. So if I put a back 4 in here quickly for you lot, even though I want to go with a back 3, this is exactly what I mean about do not leave Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy might not. Let's just go with one striker. Jamie Vardy might not be involved for 90 minutes. He's not going to stay here. It's not Jamie Vardy's skill set. He can hold up the ball and win the air, but his play isn't flick-ons and knockdowns. That's dead for him. So he might do that, but what you're going to see with Vardy, you might have him up for 85 minutes or 40 minutes in the first half. Then what's he going to do? Play could be out here with their right winger. There's a midfield runner, so your attention's there. Vardy will sneak off on a snaky thing, make his run. And the midfield that you might get in the half spaces between the centre half, who's watching the ball and expecting a cross, and the fullback, depending if he's switched on, the ball comes in, you drop, he's beating you and he scored. That is Vardy. Vardy's made a living off that stuff, people. Large shoulders, working the channels. He will press and be aggressive. They will press us, if we bring back them, they will press us. Telemans will get up there. They will get up there. They will be aggressive. That's something we need to be wary of. And I think the pivot, I've got more pivot confidence in our pivot because of how we've been playing recently. And if you just look at them in real time, people, when Kasper gets the ball, what do you see? Their wingers are probably slightly higher. What do you see, people? Their fullbacks are gone. Chilwell is gone. The centre half split very wide, very wide. In fact, even in play, Sientu basically becomes a left back. He goes up there and gets involved in that sort of stuff. And you'll see Ndidi drop to receive the ball, sort of thing. If the centre half, let's say he hasn't peeled off yet, that'll be the typical position. And Telemans might drop because Ndidi has a problem. His skill set isn't building play and stuff like that. That's not Ndidi. That's actually an area I want us to see us press. Now, if I bring in our team and make this a back 3 real quick, people, little back 3 thing, and go with, let me put everybody back because it makes it a bit easier for me, because I can't really see. Chilwell, get yourself back, my guy. Cool, yeah? Let's just say the goalie has the ball now, yeah, people, yeah? The goalie's got the ball before I do this. The goalie's in possession. 2 centre mids. We've got little Aubameyang, Eddie, Saka. What I want to see is this, people. Now, typically, you know, they're gonna have to play out from the back, you know. So what you're gonna see the fullbacks go slightly higher. You're gonna see the centre half split, yeah. Naturally, like what you see with Xhaka, Ndidi is gonna come onto the ball, yeah. Now, assuming Eddie presses and we press and that line's beaten, cool. As much as I love Ndidi, he's not a ball player, and again, it's down to Ndidi to come in 24 hours from now and make me look stupid. But naturally, if you've got a defensive midfielder whose skill set isn't on the ball, how do you build play? Do you get it? That's why you see, if you go on, I need to watch the Brighton game, but I've now watched Everton, and who did they play after? They played Palace. Telemans, this ain't his skill set. I mean, Ndidi, this ain't his skill set, people. So he's dropping deep. He's dropped deep. You lot know when he's on time on the ball, he can pass it, but 9 times out of 10, it's poor passes or it's basic passes. Press him. Press him. Don't let them out of there, because that's actually what Palace did quite well for 40 minutes. Don't let them out of there. Why? Because typically, you see Telemans drop. Because he wants the ball and he knows his teammate, that's not his skill set. Telemans is here, he's not there. Already there's a disconnect. Similar to what I said happened to us versus Wolves for different reasons. There's a disconnect. Now Vardy has a choice to make. Does he go deep in searching for the ball? Or typically what you'll see him do, because when Leicester have been in these situations, he'll say, alright, cool, you know what, Telemans ain't in the game. I'm going to hang on the shoulders. Then you've got a decision as a fullback. And then what do you see? You see long balls. And again, being aware of your runners. And you lot know, say, Vardy loves playing against us already, people. Already. Be aware of your runners. And like I said, press Ndidi when he's on that ball. Give him a decision to make. If he's a good passer, let him get out of there. But press him. You win the ball back here, we have opportunities. If he gets out and passes it to Telemans, you win it there. If Telemans shows his individual quality on the ball, which he has, fair play. But he's only got a couple of options. And their strength in numbers. Vardy is not an easy target by any stretch of the imagination. And if I just go on Palace's mistakes, people. The last goal, I don't even need to do it to scale. It was a counter-attack. Vardy's in the channel. Go and watch the game. Go and watch the highlights on Sky Sports. It's there on this very app you're using to listen to me right now. Go and watch the highlights. You can see it. Like, go and look at it. That was Vardy's goal. He basically just worked the channels, people. Essentially, he just worked the channels for the third goal. Obviously, they pressed high and Sacco was caught on the ball playing out from the back. Now, us playing out from the back that's something you've got to be wary of. So have conviction. So they got 2 cheap goals, really. Just one was a counter attack. You know Leicester are dangerous. With anyone with Jamie Vardy is dangerous on the counter. Like similar to Eddie and Aubameyang, Vardy got his goal by pressing Saka. And the goal for me, which is the one you need to listen to, because again, I can't remember what happened, but let's just say the incident is out there. Kelechi scores because he's not picked up. Like, nobody picks him up. I think it's Van Aanholt was here. There was a bit more narrow. Van Aanholt was here. He's not picked up, folks. Like, he just continues his run, and obviously what happens, and he eventually taps it in. So follow your runners. Clear with conviction. Exploit when they come with a high line, because Soyuncu and Evans will push high. Try and counter that. We've got pace with Aubameyang and things like that. Chilwell is very good going forward. But let's give him a decision to make going backwards. He's a good all-rounder for me. But when he plays against kind of tricky sort of man, he has an issue. Let's give him a decision to make. Now, congratulations to Pepe. You know, he's now a father and stuff like that. There's few things more important than football. That's one of them. But if if him and his wife are healthy and stuff and he can play, this is why Pepe plays for me, and this is why Maitland-Niles plays. Now, I expect it to be Cedric Suarez, and as decent as I think he was against Wolves, I think he's a little rusty. Naturally, he ain't played. So, is that the wisest thing? Maitland-Niles, you know, he's a bit naive defensively, but for me, it's no coincidence that typically when Pepe plays well, Maitland-Niles is there. Obviously, Suarez hasn't had much of a chance, but Maitland-Niles is there. Simple as this, people. It's simple as this. When you think of modern day fullbacks, people, it's as simple as this. As much, because I was a fullback, and they should be good defensively, but it's even Trent. Trent's a good all-rounder, but what do people praise more? What he does on the ball. That's the fullback thing. Modern day fullbacks, and especially James Justin Minor, not so much, but if Pereira's fit, he's gone. Chilwell is gone at any instance. You know Chilwell wants to put them under hit crosses in and over hit crosses in. But give Chilwell a decision to make. If you go with someone that's not challenging him, he's gonna go forward. But give him a decision to make. If you've got Pepe there, Maitland-Niles there, and you've obviously got people that can feed him, Chilwell might go and he might say, oh shit, I'm playing against Pepe, he might skill me up, you know, he might come inside there, and then you've got Maitland-Niles offering that outlet. Now Chilwell's got a decision. Does he go back and allow his midfield, if they were there, to deal with that, or talk to his centre-halves and say, I'm going cover me, or I'm going cover me, or does he call his winger and say, support man, go and get Pepe for man? And then what happens, people? Obviously, they'll still go forward. But if they're both staying back because they're scared and it's a 2v2 battle, you haven't got Chilwell going forward. You haven't got, whether it's Perez or Albrighton going there. And in fact, then Perez or Albrighton has a decision, because I don't think Perez wants to defend. Like, if Pepe is there, Maitland-Niles is overlapping, I do think Perez will come back, but I don't think naturally he's going to come back. And that's the areas you've got to exploit. We need to be brave on the ball. We need to clear our lines. We need to focus. For me, fullbacks, centre-halves as well, winning the air, please be aware of where Jamie Vardy or whatever striker is. Fullbacks, please do not leave that open space. You go and, I beg you again, go and watch the game Norwich, yeah? Norwich's recent game. I'm pretty sure the goal they conceded, it's not Godfrey's fault. Max Aarons is not tucking in. Make sure you tuck in. Make sure you win your individual battles. Make sure you press. The same things I asked you for Wolves, I just want to see it up a level and simply doing that, people. You know, so we'll have to see what happens. In relation to a couple of the things Arteta was speaking about, people, well, I've spoken about all of that. We've spoken about Soyuncu, we spoke about Soyuncu, spoke about the 4-4-2. Just go and watch the games against Palace and Everton, people. I'm going to go and watch the Brighton game, and if I find anything else, I'll renew it. But in relation to what Arteta's been saying, he said, I think Brendan and his staff have completely changed the style of play and the way they approach games. It's very clear they're trying what they are trying to do. They are very dominant. They're one of the teams that has better possession in difficult areas as well in the league. They've been really consistent, even though they've had some difficulties in the last few weeks. But since they've joined, they've completely changed the way they are playing, and I think they've proved against big teams as well that they're going to sustain that influence against stronger teams as well. Credit to them. Pardon me. He was then pressed on momentum and things, our gaffer, and he said, just by pushing the players every day, they are realising that that's the only way to compete with the top teams in the country. There's still a lot of things that we have to improve, and we have a huge margin, but that has to be something non-negotiable. That has to be that has to be a must in every game and every training session. We can build from here. And he's quite bullish, people. And he said, well, now we are on a good run. We've got some momentum, and we're getting to the crucial point of the season where we're going to face the teams in the next 2 weeks, and we're trying to get prepared as well as we can. We know how important these games are going to be for the future of the season, so we're very focused and committed to trying to do so as well. He kind of said the same language as well, side note, in relation to Ozil and Guendouzi's availability. And for me, that's right. You know, Arteta sounds bullish, and I want these players at Arsenal to seize their destiny. Top 4 is out of our hands because of what we've done. But some of you, I'm sure you want Arteta to keep playing you. Some of you that, you know, weren't given a chance by fans, myself included, you've rebuilt yourself to a degree. If you want that to continue, keep playing for Arteta. Do you know, some of you, if you want to move away from this club and join bigger clubs, play for that. If you want to prove people wrong, play for that. People need to stand up to be counted. We need people that are aggressive in pursuing their goals, whether that's top 4, whether that's wanting to be better, whether that's wanting to be consistent. We're in the crucial part of the season. Our destiny has been decided for us, you know, or is out of our hands. Like I said, we need too much for top 4. But that doesn't mean you should fight towards that goal. Have a goal in mind and try and reach it. And then if you don't, remember what it feels like in May. Because I think we're going to miss out. And I said this last season. Remember what it feels like in May when you see other teams getting praised and you see question marks of your own and that feeling of failure. Me, I'm scared of failure. I'll never be in them positions at Arsenal. Even if I would and we did fail, I guarantee you wouldn't fail through my lack of trying, people. I give every damn every inch and every fibre to want to improve, to want to be better. And that's the sort of thing I want to see at Arsenal, because that's the minimum if you want to do big things. You know, some of you are playing for your future. Some of you might not even be playing Premier League if it's not under Arteta at Arsenal. So stand up and be counted and carry this on. Like I said, I'm happy that, you know, we're in a bit of form. You know, football is very much a fickle game. You know, you need confidence, but I hope there's no arrogance or any overconfidence, because Leicester will beat that out of you. And right now, collectively over the season, Leicester have been a better team than us. That's without a doubt. So I know Arteta knows this already. For me, I'll keep it up with the 3-4-3. Admittedly, I'm a 4-3-3 man by trade, and that's what I love. But Arteta's got me liking this at the moment. And you know, at the time of the year where it's not really time to be tinkering, until it stops working, let's go with it, innit? Again, you could go 4 at the back, but I do think we look a bit more assured of ourselves at this moment in time in the 3-4-3. So for me, you know, Mustafi's played a lot of games. Potentially he needs to get rested. You know, we've got a big week. You know, we've got Leicester and Spurs. If they want top 4, if our boys want top 4, this is the biggest week in the league right now, in the season, sorry. So there's not really time for resting players. But I could hear it if he was. Tierney, admittedly, I haven't checked, but I don't know if he's injured because he came off again, which is quite concerning. But for me, you know, Martinez picks himself in goal. Leno isn't available, but Martinez, even if Leno was and Martinez got this opportunity, it'd be him. So Martinez gets it in goal for me. Mustafi gets in there. I'll go Mustafi. I'll keep it exactly the same, man. Because I think Luiz, as much as he is annoying and his heart and mouse moment, I think this is a game where people need to be vocal, and that's one thing I'll give Luiz and Mustafi. So and Mustafi's been playing quite well. So Mustafi, Martinez behind them, Mustafi, David Luiz. I'd go with Kolasinac purely because, you know, if Vardy tries to work the right hand channels, I think it would be the left. There's an extra man out there, and I think Kolasinac and Tierney, if Tierney's fit, we can carry that sort of thing on again. So I'm gonna go with, you know, I've already said them. I think Kolasinac will get the nod in the back 3 for me. In relation to the 4 in midfield, 2 fullbacks, 2 centre mids. I mean, Tierney picks himself. I would go with Maitland-Niles / Cedric Suarez. I'm more leaning towards Maitland-Niles just because he's played more with Pepe. He's got more of a, you know, sort of he's on. But I think it will be Bellerin, you know. And obviously Tierney, they pick themselves. For me, Xhaka and Ceballos. You know what? I want to get Torreira back in there, but I feel Ceballos and Xhaka is working at the moment. So how can I really boot one of you out the team? If I had to boot someone, I'd probably get rid of one of the front 2 and make it a 5 in midfield and go for a 3-5-2 of such. Just because I think we might need Torreira, someone that can win the ball back. Because they got Ndidi, we're not going to have that. Like, Xhaka's got different qualities, Ceballos has got different qualities, and Ceballos tries puts himself around. But I'll go with them 2 in midfield. Up front, for me, it's Aubameyang picks himself on the left. I think Eddie deserves to start, and I like what Eddie gives us. I think he had a really underrated performance in the last game because of what he works hard and all them things. So yeah, I'll go with Eddie. Well, the game before when he started, not the game Lacazette started, or was it Lacazette? No, wait, I'm bugging out. Eddie did start last game, so it is the last game. So Eddie, Lacazette, Eddie and Nketiah, Aubameyang, and for me, in fact, no, I just realised, people. Sorry, Eddie, and I know it won't be the case. But then again, you want Aubameyang on the right-hand side, you know. You want him on that right-hand side. You want Aubameyang on that right-hand side, left-hand side there, right. Give James Justin something to think about. But for me, you know what? I'm going to go Aubameyang through the middle, which isn't going to happen. I'm going to go with Pepe on the right. I'm going to go with Saka on the left. Eddie, it's harsh to drop you, and I think it will be Eddie, Saka, and Aubameyang personally. But I think Pepe, the key is neutralising Chilwell. He's very good going forward. I will at least want Chilwell, if he is going to go forward, to have to think about it. It's like, okay, I'm taking that risk. If I go, it could be my fault if they counter-attack us and score. I don't think you're going to get that with other people. And of course, Aubameyang, he's not going to stay through the middle, but at least he gives some, like Vardy, he's always on the shoulder. He gives people something to think about. And stuff like that. And to be fair, if Eddie plays through the middle, the key to that is discouraging them centre-halves in Johnny Evans and Soyuncu from playing. So that would probably be my team, people. But I can get it if Saka is dropped out, which I don't agree with. I can get it if Torreira is brought in. But I would go 3-4-3, and that would be my team, people. I'd love to hear yours. I'd love to hear your comments in relation to the game. I'd love to hear your general thoughts. But for now, it's always a pleasure. But I'm going to have to keep it moving. People, Deluded. I'm out. Thank you for watching and rocking.